Hi guys, when was the first time you ever flew in an aeroplane? I'm going back to when I was still a schoolboy. My parents went on holiday to Norfolk and we went to, where was it we went to? Brisbane 1 and 2, it was near Bacton, Walcott on the coast, just down from Bacton on the Norfolk coast. We stayed there and we went down to Yarmouth for a day's visit, and you could have a pleasure flight. And we went up in a Cessna. Myself and my sisters went for a flight in a Cessna, and my parents paid the allotted amount of money, and they thought they could go and sit in the car for half an hour or an hour until we came back. So we get in the airplane, the pilot takes off and off we go, and my parents had just got back to the car when we landed. It was a very short flight. We literally went from the airport along the coast, turned around, come back and landed again. I don't know how much it cost them. I don't think they're very impressed. That was the first time I ever flew. My most memorable flight was courtesy of my grandfather. Now, my grandfather was in the RAF during the Second World War, and he had lots of RAF friends still about. While my grandfather was still working, and he was working at a place called Marshall's in Cambridge, the airfield, and he was working on the actual airfield side. And they used to fly, and I think they still do, they flew Tiger Moths, little yellow Tiger Moth aircraft from the airfield. They taught people to fly in them. Now, my grandfather was really friendly with one of the pilots, because one of the pilots was an ex-RAF pilot from the Second World War who flew Blenheim bombers. And so my grandfather knew him really well. And the friend of my grandfather's said to my granddad, "Would you like to come up in a Tiger Moth?" And my grandfather said, "Oh no," he said, "I'd rather keep my feet on the ground now," he said. He said, "But I'll tell you what," he said, "my grandson would love to come up in your aeroplane." And so it was arranged. So I went over to Cambridge with my granddad, and my granddad stayed on the ground obviously, and I went for a flight in a Tiger Moth. It was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I'll never ever forget it. I was horrifically sick afterwards. I was really bad, but I did enjoy it. It's something that I'll never forget. That was my most memorable flight. I've done a few holiday flights, but I'm a terrible flyer. I'm a terrible passenger, full stop. I'm fine if I'm driving a car, but I can make myself ill driving a car if the roads are really windy. I can actually make myself ill. But yeah, as a passenger, I'm terrible, guys. But yes, that was my most memorable flight in an aircraft. So let me know what your flight was. Okay, bye-bye.